heart is a most unique one. It cares more than some think is wise. They risk more than some think is safe. Dreaming more than some think is practical. With expectations more than some think is possible. Today, as we bring part 2 of our Spring Break Bonanza, we introduce to you Katie Sywert, A Missionary's Journey, a call not to comfort but to obedience. There is no joy outside of knowing Jesus and serving Him. Hello, I am Tessa Habet. This feature is brought to you by Brothers Habet Limited.
March is Women's Month, and at Brothers Habet, we're celebrating our Belizean women and their achievements all month long. Women are too often overlooked in typically male-dominated fields, but we want to celebrate the capable ladies who are breaking the bias across the board. From the women at home tackling their own home improvements to our women builders behind new and exciting projects. We want to recognize your power and thank you for all your contributions to Belize. And as a small token of our appreciation, for the entire month of March, we're offering all women 15% off on all items in store so you can keep breaking glass ceilings with high quality products from Brothers Habet. It's a great month to be a woman and a great time to come into Brothers Habet and check us out for all your hardware needs. Happy Women's Month, Belize, and let's continue to break the bias.
Okay. This is the Song of the Stars, and it is a song written just about a time in my life when I knew that I was created for joy, but I just didn't really feel like it was present. But just thinking about, there's a part in Job where God asked him, like, where were you when I was creating the world and the stars were singing for joy? So just knowing I'm a creature in creation and that I was created with joy and for joy. So this is it. Come, won't you teach me the song of the stars, the song they were singing with joy at the start, the song that I know is buried in my heart, the reason and the rhythm that my blood dances for, the reason and the rhythm that my blood dances for. I grew up outside of Wichita, Kansas. It's a small town, very rural. I have 2 brothers and my parents, and I grew up around like other family, my cousins, my grandparents. I grew up going to our local Catholic church, St. Mark's. I went to St. Mark's Elementary, into high school, and then on to Benedictine College, which is where I found out about Belize. I went on a spring break mission trip almost 9 years ago. And so it was just 1 week. I came, a friend who was on the soccer team at Benedictine. They do a soccer camp every year in Benque Viejo. And so I actually came to Benque Viejo and we just played soccer and I loved it. And I knew that the next year I was graduating with an English education degree from Benedictine, and I knew I wanted to teach and I knew I wanted to spend a year in service. So it was kind of natural coming to Belize because I had some friends from Benedictine who had already graduated, who were already here. I sent them a message and was like, hey, is this legit? They're like, yes, that's so great. Right around the pandemic hit, I knew I had wanted to return to mission. So I did 2 years of service here and then went back and just kind of lived a normal lifestyle, lay member, was going to church, was teaching, living close to family, had a lot of friends, and was dating a guy pretty seriously at the time. So I had become the person I had always imagined myself to be. I was like, here are my goals, I'm gonna do them, I went to college, studied abroad in Italy for a little bit, did service in Central America, came back, was teaching at the high school. It has such a good reputation, and just amazing administration and families there. And so I was just sitting there looking at my life, like very grateful, and be like, this should be the fulfillment of what I'm called to do. But there was just like an unrest and a realization that when I was teaching at Mount Carmel High School, you know, some days were crazy. Some days my students would jump out of windows. Sometimes they were just like, I don't know, they would just like cuss at me in Spanish, and I had no idea what they were saying. And then yeah, the like Belize is just like hot, and there wasn't any air conditioning, so it was like there wasn't even any fans back in those days at Mount Carmel, and you know, there were just like scorpions and tarantulas and cockroaches, and I loved it. I don't know, I just like I enjoyed it, and here I was in this kind of like pristine, goal-oriented, I guess successful life, and I was just like, there's something missing. So I reached out to Father Bo, just kind of initially to see, because he's just like a priest that kind of knows my heart and can direct me well. Like, hey, I think I'm called back to mission work. I'm just looking for some advice. And that's when he invited me to come back to the Belize mission to work at John Paul II Junior College. He's like, we could actually use you here. And I was like, ha 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 ha, like very funny, because nobody at that time really had like returned to that mission. Now there's a few other people, but it was kind of like once you did your time, you kind of moved on, and the next wave of people come. And I didn't want to just like be reliving like a good time or nostalgia, so I really took some time to pray about that. Yeah, because I didn't want it just to be me trying to like relive an experience I already had. And so I told the Lord, I'm like, you're gonna have to shut all the other doors and make sure this is the only one open, because I really, really don't know if this is it. And that's what he did. I did get laid off at my job that I was at. That was when I was working at the website company. And then the world shut down, and then I applied a bunch of other places. I applied to work at a school in California. I applied to be like an RD at a college somewhere, and all these other things. Like I didn't even get an interview, I didn't get a call back, like nothing was happening except for Father Bo's offer to come to Belize. And then I had the problem of, I had this car, and so I was like, okay, I'm like, Lord, I gotta sell this car, but I still need it up until August. And sure enough, like this car was not selling, and literally 2 weeks before I was supposed to fly down to August, my mom's like old classmate messaged her, she posted it on like social media. And he was just like, yeah, we'll be over Saturday, like I want to pay full price, like cash in hand, here you go. And so like sure enough, the car was gone. It was just like all these obstacles that I was like, all right, Lord, like if this is it, I don't know, you got to take care of this, because like this is something, you know, like kind of out of my reach. And so it was just very providential that I just knew I was called back in 2020, and so this is technically my 4th year at the mission. Okay, this song was just written because I just kept stumbling into myself and the same old problems and sins, and just realizing moving from place to place isn't gonna change anything, or mission to mission. You're still gonna have to be with yourself wherever you move. And so yeah, just kind of thinking about that and how I need to just figure it out. Here it goes. Sometimes I wonder why I can't seem to figure out life. Why I don't know why I'm running from place to place, or too hard just to start again. Why I don't know why I try running, 'cause wherever I go, there I am. Different places, same old problems. Wherever I go, there I am. Different faces, same old problems.
guess it wasn't then. Wherever I go, wherever I go, I'm running.
The first song I ever wrote was, I don't know if it was about like whales and tigers or some Christmas song. I was in kindergarten and I taught it to my younger brother, so we were like singing this song. So my mom asked like, oh, did you like learn that at school, you know, from your teacher? And my brother goes, no, like Katie wrote it. And I was like, yeah, I wrote it. And she didn't believe us. She thought we were lying. She thought we were lying because she was like, no, you couldn't have written that. And so she like disciplined us. And so then I didn't write any songs for a while. But I started taking piano when I was 7. So don't ask me to play piano though. Like it was only for a couple of years. And then I picked up the guitar in high school. And so I think starting in high school, this was also when like Taylor Swift was like breaking into the scene, and she's just a few years older than me. So I was like, oh, if this girl can write about high school heartbreaks, I can do that. So then I just started talking about things in my life, and all of those songs I will not sing for you, nor do I even really remember a lot of them. But I took a creative writing class at Benedictine in college, and I think that's really where I saw a shift in my songwriting. Okay, this song, it's like when you break up with somebody and you don't want to get back together with them, but you do just kind of miss them and just having somebody check in on you. So that's what this song is about. It's a little bit more personal, I guess.
You probably think it's stupid, but my favorite memory of us was outside a cafe in Kansas City. You pulled me close, then you laughed, took my glasses off, cleaned them up, put them back, kissed me on the cheek, and told me you loved me. Oh, I miss somebody on my team, someone to check in every morning, like I can put my fist down and breathe, like I'm not the only one looking out for me.
I have an uncle who is a priest, so I think he was ordained when I was in first grade. So I remember his ordination, going to it and celebrating. And then some of my peers I actually went to a public high school, but I had peers that went to the Catholic high school that right after high school entered seminary, and so I kind of remained friends with them through seminary. And so just one way, I think for me, was just that kind of how it was normal. I think that might be like the best way to put it, of just like, it was so normal for people my age to like be considering either like the seminary, it was mostly the guys in my like friend group than the girls. But then I did meet some girls a couple years older than me in high school who were seriously thinking and praying and like visiting convents. So I think we have a pretty like well-established diocese in Wichita, who people have made it kind of their mission field is to like provide opportunities for younger people to go on like a weekend retreat just away, just to like pray about, hey, is God calling you to something here? And so I think once a year it started with the men, and then eventually there was a women's retreat where like sisters would be invited to come and just familiarize high school, college girls with like, hey, these are sisters and they're not 80 years old and they're kind of fun and they're funny and they like they like to eat pizza. And I think just to really like normalize religious was a key for me. And I didn't see them as like way above or far out or like distant. And so I think maybe that was like an element for me, and just to have like really close friends consider it. And then I'm like, oh, should I be thinking about that? Maybe I should also be praying about that. And so that's kind of where it started. And then just to like, I don't know, I think too, we just like didn't have a ton of like distraction. We had a lot of like just like free space. on the farm. And so like if you're outside, I wasn't watching videos on my phone, I wasn't Snapchatting anyone, I wasn't, I was just kind of like running around with my brothers or my dog, and not to say I had like profound religious moments, playing outside, but I think I didn't have that habit of distracting myself as I got older. So then, rather than just like always having to like either distract myself from my reality, I am able to like kind of look out the world with like curiosity and say like, oh, like what is here, what is out here? And I think that's where like the Lord is able to like call us in our hearts, is if we are just, exploring with curiosity like our life, our environment, rather than giving it one look and saying, I'd rather like be on my phone or something. And in one of my songs, actually it's in the Song of the Stars, it talks about how just like we were created for joy. And I think when I wrote that song, I was just at a point in my life where I was just like, my life is just kind of blah, and I have all the things that I need. And kind of talking about earlier too, before I came on mission the second time, of just kind of this almost like interior knowledge that like I was made for more than just like what's in front of me. And I had tasted that joy in different avenues through prayer and action, when we were going to somebody's house and painting, and it's hot and you get paint all over you, and you're laughing and you're with your friends, and you make those connections with the homeowner. You're just like genuinely so like, like great. You see that like you can help restore the kingdom, and I truly believe, the Lord gives us these little like plots for us to like till the garden in a sense. And so it's just like, for me, mission work is really just about me finding that section of the kingdom to restore, that section of the garden to till, because that's what I was made for. And when I like do that, when I'm doing that work, I'm filled with joy because I'm doing what I'm created for, right? I'm not going against anything within me, or like pushing back. And I think if I had like pursued maybe like law school, I know some people in my family wanted me to go to law school because of an English degree, and I'm very convincing sometimes, I suppose. But it just wouldn't have been a life of like light, I guess. It would just be me waking up, kind of dreading work, going in, clocking out, and that's not the life I want to lead, and I don't think that's the life like the Lord wants for me either. If He's calling me towards this joy that I was created for.
This is the Healer of Hearts. It's just probably the closest thing to praise and worship song that I've written. It really just is about the Lord reaching into the dark crevices of sin in your heart, and just making your heart new, and giving His Spirit to you, and being created new. So that's what this song is about. Okay. Come, O Healer of hearts, you are near, you are near. You are near to the broken-hearted, you are near to the broken-hearted. Come, O Healer of hearts, you are near, you are near. You are near to the broken-hearted, you are near to the broken-hearted, to take my wounds and make them yours. Even now you make me new, even now you make me new. Take my heart and make it yours. Even now you make me new, even now you make me new.
I come from a place where you have to drive everywhere, and I found that I actually really loved walking everywhere. I have another song about just like walking home, and I just like love walking home, and just that walk from Chapel Hill down to the valley, I guess, the town, Big K. It's good for me to think and reflect, and it kind of allows me to like kind of decompress at the end of a school day or something like that. And so I think it's just like kind of the pace of life there. It's human. It's you you walk to the bakery and you see 5 people you know. And I think just being able to, be in a community where you are seen and you're known and you are doing good work, right? People, maestra, right? And they don't really, I don't know them, but they know who I am. One, because they recognize the volunteers as like working at the high school, and they're from the US, so. And they're not tourists, like you said, nobody really stops in Benke, so if there is a tourist in Benke, all of the other volunteers, we notice. I think it is just like the community and the connections you make there. And there's definitely some families who have made me feel just like really part of the family. And for me, it's just like also the way the community has been able to kind of incorporate just like the Christian life into their everyday life. I live right across the street from the church actually, so the church bells, I wake up to them. I can say the Angelus at 6 and noon and 6 or whatever it is. And so I think it's just like the way that everyone gets into Semana Santa, the Holy Week. Everyone like stays in Benke for Holy Week. People have off, they could travel, but there's just like so much culture and vitality, especially during that week. So I think it's just like the way Benqueños are able to like just celebrate. I love the way that they celebrate and the way that they have feast days and the bombas and the quinces that I get invited to. They're just a people that love to celebrate, and so I think that's an enormous draw to me. So I think just like really the people and making those connections and knowing that like what I do has an effect and like a positive one.
This is just about my walk home from Chapel Hill, and it's called On My Way Home. I like to move my body after working inside all day. Then I see the children, they run up, they want to play. They give me flowers, they give me code names. And before I leave, we have a secret handshake. Oh, isn't this it? Isn't this moment all that exists? Isn't this it? Isn't this moment all that exists? Isn't this it? Isn't this it? Oh, maybe life's just walking on my way home. And I know one day things will change, and I'll have to walk a new road. Until then, there's one thing I'm certain of, is that I love walking home to you.
I call this my second tour. On my second tour of service or mission work, I do want to continue doing mission probably in some capacity for the rest of my life. It's like something that's pretty solidified. But I think for me, the next step is to consider like religious orders and religious communities to hopefully become a religious sister one day. But that is step by step, day by day. And so right now, I'm just trying to figure out the community that I want to apply to and look at. So it could be Salt. I don't know. They're on the list of places to check out. So that's where we're at.
This is just about home. My friend Max gave me a challenge to write a song about home, and so I was in my old childhood bedroom thinking about it one break, and I came up with a song. So it's just home. And I'm pulling into that old driveway. I say hello to my favorite tree, the one I'd climb and imagine I could fly away from here. Now I've flown all around the world. I've felt in love and I've felt alone, but there's nothing like the feeling. Oh, there's nothing like the feeling of coming home. Coming home.
Wow, such a beautiful journey, and we love having you here. Thank you, Katie, for sitting down with us. We thank you and all our missionaries for your presence and continued service in Belize. And that's our story. Thanks for watching.
For this and more feature stories, you can follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or view on Guadalupe Media Channel 96 on CCV or Channel 64 on CBC. You can also tune in on the radio in your car, home, or office at 101.9 FM, and please be sure to download the Guadalupe Media radio app from Google Play or the App Store. Our Blessed Mother, lead us to Jesus.